brother, Jackie.
Oh, thank you, sister. That's right. We're here in position, ready to kick off the opening best of 3 of the final day of the Americas RMR, Vince. 3 spots remain for the major in Copenhagen. 6 teams to duke it out, and it all starts here.
An all-Brazilian affair. These teams have played each other many, many times over the last 4 or 5 months, that Des touched on. But interestingly enough, neither team has played Inferno for over 6 weeks. So that's another reason why coming into this, seeing Inferno pick first was a little bit of a head-scratch. We weren't expecting this, but it could prove to be fireworks.
Yeah, there was a couple of nuggets in that veto when we're sort of digging into the gold, seeing the potential stories that we can get with this one. No Anubis, because paiN's been on a 4-map losing streak, so they air that. Nuke comes in as the bookend of the series. It's tantalizing, but we'll start off here on Inferno. Banana bombardment as Turtle strikes. That's a snapping turtle, Vince.
And that hurts. You don't want to get bit by one of those, but Lux with those Julies, spitting bullets down on Banana and shuts it down by himself. The ace with the Julies, so much venom.
Oh, okay, we go straight from Turtle to the heart of a lion. Man with the doolies just barking at them. Oh, an ace to kick it off. That is not how you want to come into this game, Vince. You've been hit with a tornado at Banana.
Oh, the hype behind it as well, just swelling, enveloping that Banana control. And it was just tap, tap, tap. They just run in. It was 5 headshots as well.
It's mad.
Oh, the guy just clopping off heads left and right like it was no one's business. No post plant, of course, so ODDIK, they're down to Glocks.
He's just gone full Jim West. It's mad. The Desperado Rough Rider, you don't want none of that, because he's running it in the pistol round. We're straight into the second, though, and it's only Glocks, like you say. There's no money in the coffers for ODDIK, and probably quite a bit of frustration in the top of their heads. paiN, meanwhile, you just want to keep it clean. You've won the hard one now off the back of the pistol being so sickening. Just look to build up the cash and ease into your CT side. Big Guzera takes the deep control Banana with the MP9, looking for the adjustment if necessary. You've got the deep smoke out as well. It's going to make it a bit uncomfortable for the T's, but they're grouping up for a brackets pop.
Mateo still has a good idea that a wrap around the back is possible, but NQZ laying down some fury with the FAMAS and kauez helping him on the cross. There was no way forward, no hope whatsoever. I think a Deagle was purchased in that round. That was the only upgraded pistol they had, but it made no difference, Jackie. It's a clean sweep again.
I'm enjoying these yells already as well. It's quite nice watching the little war cries, the excitement that's coming out. It's a gigantic game. You're so close. You're within touching distance of getting to the major. Obviously, the majority of the experience there really that's been commanding this roster comes from Big Guzera. He's done this before, this time heralding a unit that he wants to take with him to the major, and they have been fighting tooth and nail to make that a possibility. First 2 rounds are theirs, but the buy comes straight back in for ODDIK on the T side.
HE's early on, but ODDIK aren't interested. They're funneling back on the T side on the steps. Trying to use that AK purchase at range. The issue is, though, they're going for so much firepower here with 4 AKs as opposed to a second or third play going for Galils. You've got 3 smokes and 2 flashes, and that's all. No Molotovs, no HEs. So you're not going to get 2 bites at the cherry here, Jackie. If they go in for an execute, they're going to have to fully commit behind it.
Balcony bombardment is the call. Timing goes out with the smoke. Nissam's waiting. They bypass him, diving down. There's a quick trade back, though. You've caused a little bit of an issue here. Yeah, they're in pit, but it's relatively isolated. Turtle's just firing out the warning shots. You're going to peek into him, take a bit of damage, but the doolies come out again.
The bane of ODDIK's existence. kauez with a beautiful couple of kills out on the initial push, saving this round, surely. Unless Matios and Woody can try and chime together, and neither of them have got off the mark just yet in the opening 2 rounds. We're looking to change that now. Molotov not quite extending. Oh, they line up and Woody punishes them. But there's a HE off the noggin, and Woody goes down for a 3-0 on paiN. And kauez again. So much impact.
Heads up play from him. Take the space straight off the pit player, get up and make it uncomfortable. Spams into him with the doolies, and they close out the round towards the end. Looked a little bit iffy once Woody started to flex his muscles a bit. You give him those 1-for-1 fights, he'll take those all damn day. But they close it out, weather the storm in the first test against the actual rifles from ODDIK. does not deliver. paiN are able to withstand. So 3 rounds on the board already for their CT debut.
So I was opening 2 picks with the A1S through on balcony that were the difference maker. Stopped the rot, stopped the tsunami of Ts from just funneling their way out of apps, blockaded it. And back into pistols again and back into an early death. paiN are getting so many early picks here already on this map. That's gonna have to change. Flash bang out, kauez forced into a different angle, but still passes. No problems with this himself. It's gonna be a shutdown round, the 1 kill in return, the casualty of kauez. But it is a quick fire, very quick 4-round lead already for paiN. It's felt like this map's only been going for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's been rapid, man. Really quick rounds. For ODDIK at least. Do have a chance to once again actually put the weapons on display. Bring out the firearms, but now you need to change your fate a little bit. We're getting into the groove of the game here. It's already been 4 rounds, so into the 5th. What have you got in store for us? What's going to change going into the Bible, the utility to support it? For paiN, it's a bit of an adjustment in terms of the setup with the AWP being donned. Instant peek towards top banana, but they look to take the space off him. Turtle gets ahead of the Molotov, but Lux has it covered.
Well, placing a grenade, though, is going to make sure the biggest error cannot snake his way outside of sandbags. So 1-for-1 early doors, the best start that ODDIK have had. But kauez has the cross from bedroom, an angle they're not going to anticipate, and passes a bullet through the head of naitte, and that's going to be another convincing advantage that falls the way of paiN. Yes, there's tons of time left on the clock, but how can they barrage their way out of here? The position's looking good for paiN. They don't have anyone on pit, and that's maybe a small problem that Woody can try and exploit.
Oh, the Ts are just getting mauled. It's the backstab that gives them an opportunity, but you've lost a lot of the cavalry. It's not going to get any easier for Woody. Nade round the corner, a near miss on the connection. He drops the smoke to block off the quick rotate in from quad side. Give himself a little bit of a shroud to play off of and just tucks up into it. It's an off angle here. He's paranoid about how close they're going to be, and these 3 CTs want to just work as a unit on the retake. Molotov and HE flash for the top as well if you want to blind him. He's got one of his own, but the molly comes in, tagging him down, forces him to adjust. They've got it, and they overwhelm on the retake.
And kauez is having such a stellar opener to this game, man. Like, he's taking every single duel, every 1v1, 1v2, he is winning out by himself. That is incredible impact that he is currently having, and he's suffocating ODDIK. They can't really get anything done. Yeah, you get a post plant, but it's at the cost of so many bodies that 1v3 was pretty straightforward. It wasn't that difficult in the end. Timeout has been called from ODDIK, and Mac did touch on this on the desk, to be fair. He said the CT side is really strong, 73.3% win rate. They played it twice, they got 2 wins. It's not a huge sample size, but they typically get a lot of rounds on the CT side. It's the T rounds where they struggle, 35.7% on the T side. So that would suggest that the narrative here is they're probably going to get quite a lot of rounds, 7 or 8 rounds at least on the CT side, and maybe ODDIK's chance is going to be when the roles reverse.
The problem is with that, of course, in a game like this, where there's so much riding on it, the more your head starts to dip, the more you start to lose those rounds. You're looking up at the scoreboard every time. It really does plague you a little bit.
100%.
It could just slow you down so much, right? So trying to reset going into that second half, it's going to be a big factor. We'll see, though. You know, it's still relatively early doors into the half, at least. It's round 6. There is opportunities. But what worries me is there's some players on paiN that haven't even needed to go to that skill level we know they can deliver with yet, Vince. And that's kind of the extra caveat that scares me for ODDIK's life run in this one.
Yeah, completely agreed. I mean, we haven't seen biggest error really pop off. And I mean, he's typically the guy you're looking at. Leading by example, fragging his mind out. He's on 2-2. Another pick, this time from NQZ, up on the banana. And it's more of the same. Past the timeout, they've lost the first player. The opening duel goes against them. And they're on the back foot. Matios yet to get any kills. Same with ponter. He was one of those players that they highlighted on the desk to be a potential difference maker. Well, there's been nothing he's really been able to offer so far. Oh, double mates as well. That's got to be so frustrating to play against, man.
Oh, mate. You think we'll take a little bit of control towards top mids, maybe see if we can fight for brackets. I've been HE'd. Oh, I've been HE'd again. Suddenly you've got no health left. You're sent packing right into the scope that's playing on the angle. It's an easy opening pick. There's no one there for the quick swing out for the trade. side either. Molly's going to make it uncomfortable, at least turning up the heat. Almost looked like he was going to get the fade away, but they do at least drop him. Now your next task is, how do you get into the bomb site? CT smoked off for now at least. You get the re-smoke out at the back of the site. That's where Big Guzera's lurking in his lair.
That is a lair that you have to tread very lightly through. Flashbang up and over, 20 seconds, and Big Guzera deciding not to go for the peak. He's heard nothing in terms of audio cues. Woody, in the meanwhile, is sprinting back up middle. Oh, if he dies, that's the bomb. It's the bomb spilled. And even though they have the forward position in the form of Turtle, it doesn't matter. There's not enough time. There's not enough time for them to do anything. Maybe they can get a pick onto Nissam, but that's going to be it. 1 HP separating Turtle from his demise. And it's a 6-0 start.
So rough. Trying to make the heads-up call of going back, feeling uncomfortable about the B play, realizing your lurkers got into the site, thinking it's clear, hoping they've rotated off, but he just sat in boiler. All the information in the world from him thunder-footing his way up middle. Drop the bomb, time goes with it, and so does the rounds. You need some of them. You've got to get yourself into the game soon here. It's not looking great in terms of the buy either. You just piece together whatever you could afford off the back of this one.
And even if we are going fully off the coping mechanism of, oh yeah, but maybe paiN's T side's not that strong. Listen, if you come through into that second half and you've got 2 rounds, it doesn't really matter. And plus the sample size is pretty small anyway, and you'd imagine paiN have gone back to the drawing board and they've ironed things out. As I said, it's been 6 weeks since either of these teams played Inferno, and there's plenty of time that they could have worked through a couple of the kinks and made sure that they've got everything straightened out.
We've already seen that with paiN's adjustments to overpass the map. It looked like they didn't really want to play too much. They've definitely got drilled on that. Spray's nice. Quick flick back around with a tech to deck the man in the cubby. But even then, you're outnumbered 2-1. Minute on the clock here. Ooh, Turtle is hard shell withstanding that opening connection with the AWP. You're still alive, but you've taken a ton of damage, so you need to win these fights very cleanly. That's your only win condition of being able to piece together this round. One that you've got to go for, really.
This crossfire is deadly as well, isn't it? Even though he's low HP on the site, it's the backstab. And the blade, in the form of the A1S, is going to rip through the remaining 2 Ts for a 7-0. And it's more of the same. The economy is building up nicely. The paiN boys are looking on point. They started the tournament crushing, dismantling Legacy 13-2 on overpass. We got the chance to cast that game. They were so dominant that I was actually surprised they ended up losing their second game the way they were playing. But now we're seeing shades of that same paiN showing up to the server. And that is a terrifying prospect for anyone they run into.
You do not want to give paiN confidence either, because they start to do things like this where they will just squeeze map control off of you from the opening moments of the round. Not even a deep mid smoke here. You just entirely walk down with confidence to hold it. Peek towards T-steps, 2 tags, but no actual frags off the back of the initial gambit for the CT side.
Waiting. Flashbang is good. The follow damage is there. But Lux will pivot straight back in, forcing it into a 1-for-1 trade. These are the kind of situations, though, that ODDIK desperately need to grab on for dear life. They have got to get some success. They're running out of time. Yes, you've got a Deagle and a low Woody, but you have the player advantage. Utilize that. If you want to make the major, these are the rounds you've got to bring and try and take for yourself.
Thank you, Z. Strikes again towards brackets, and the edge you had, the one-man advantage for the trade game, is now gone. The battle of attrition is leveled. And Lux, he's just holding directly ahead of the smoke, playing close to it, knows that the time's tight on it, going to be fading soon, so he backs off and readjusts round towards second oranges, trying to play off his teammates' rotation. They break the smoke, no clean info for either side. Finally, attack comes out, but Nissim does all the work. Easy spray, and a round that still falls into the lap of paiN.
Oh, those are the rounds, Jackie. I was trying to build into a comeback potentially, but I mean, you put a heavy investment into the round. You got $3,000 to $4,000 here, so you're looking at another Tech 9 or maybe Galil scrappy buy. You had an advantage. Look at the ADR bars. It's so grim. They've had 3 opening duels in 8 rounds go their way, 2 of which have been in the hands of Turtle. NQZ is just running amok. 3-0 on him. 187 ADR to kauez.
It's outrageous, isn't it? It's a major qualification game, and the man's just absolutely running at them, hitting all of his shots. Playing lights out right now.
Hey, the other thing as well, do you see BESTIA had 14 ADR?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've seen that, but he just hasn't been needed.
No, exactly. It is very different to the BESTIA we've seen where he's kind of had to, you know, fight for a lot of deep control, especially on overpass, right? We always see him sort of scrapping. Here, he's just sort of in the position where he can watch over the troops and be very content with what his roster's doing in a game like this. It is quite a terrifying prospect as well, sort of like what you set up in the idea of if they're winning it this dominantly already, Vince, if this goes on for any longer, hell, if you only need 2 rounds to close the game, your T side for paiN, you could literally just bombard B twice. It's going to work one of the times.
Speaking of bombarding, and getting peppered, artillery struck from orbit. And ODDIK cannot catch a break, but the thing is, it's in their own hands. You have the power in Counter-Strike to step your level up, to come back in and swing it. But right now, it is all paiN's way. Off the basis of the veto, we were both kind of raising our eyebrows, thinking, all right, this could be a 3-mapper. We could actually be on for a really close game in our hands. And paiN were like, nah, actually, no, we want the major right now as fast as possible. They're speedrunning it.
Want to get the brand back to the major. In there a couple times. Can they do it again? That's the question. Lux with a jump spot gets the info onto the last 2. Okay, Deagle connection at least takes him down, but BigQzera, he's been waiting for his opportunity and they bypassed him. Oh, it's a bit of a rough spray. Still finds one though, and you're dead.
That's it. That's perfect, actually. That's just been the case of the whole map, isn't it? Like, oh, you got, oh, and you're dead. Never mind. Rest in peace. Yeah, BigQzera. I mean, I'm really clutching at straws here, Jackie.
Okay,
like,
go on.
Full coping, but I'm like, listen, if he's having a labored spray, maybe there's a way in at some point.
Well, his teammates have to die first, though, Vince.
It's true. Yeah, I'm really clutching, aren't I?
But it's a shame, though, right? Because it does feel like one of these games where you'd kind of hope like you'd see the elevation of ODDIK really coming out with that extra sort of 20%, especially into this first map. It feels like you need to put the foot down immediately. If you're sleeping at the wheel and giving paiN opportunities like this, it's going to have reverberations throughout the entire best of 3. It's not something you're just going to be able to reset entirely for them. That momentum's going to be there. And it's the confidence as well, just how they're positioning themselves into these early rounds. They're not really sort of backing themselves into a lot of these initial fights. It's a slow default. You're looking for a bit of map control. When you get it, it feels like the trades are always going against you. It's got to be really frustrating CS to play for ODDIK.
And the other kick to the gut as well is like, this is ODDIK's choice of map.
Yeah.
You picked this. You wanted to go on this battlefield and you are getting absolutely destroyed. However, they've got the first pick, a low Lux on 17 HP. Is this the time where ODDIK begin to shift through the gears and get us some rounds? And kauez is chilling. He's gone to the other side of the map and is leaving NQZ alone, but he doesn't need anybody else. He's more than capable of withstanding this pressure by himself.
Overkill with the orb, hitting heads all over the shop, and it's repelled the push. He's not content with just 2 either. Finds a 3rd frag, but suddenly Turtle turns the tides. A hat trick of his own, but you've got to find this man. On the off angle, they don't clear it, and he's got the trigger discipline. He'll let them in, give them a full sense of security, and then smash them to pieces for a 10th.
It's such a sick, heads-up, relaxed play from kauez. That's all NQZ, though.
Yeah.
Those 2 opening picks he gets and then the 3rd alongside it are outrageous. And that just fully encapsulates this paiN performance, man. Like, they've had little scraps here and there, but they've been unable to do anything with it.
It's that 2nd shot as well. Straight to the dome. Orders an ODDIK player for breakfast and then spits out the chain, Vince.
Oh, mate, it's been rough to watch. It's been beautiful. If you're a CS fan looking at this paiN CT side, it's been pretty damn good. And kauez has been leading the charge. 17 kills, 170 ADR, and he's bagged himself another couple in this. So you can add a few to that. Woody, in the meanwhile, though, forcing off NQZ, but there are strength in numbers. A 2nd player coming through on Library. about as one-sided a map of Counter-Strike as I can remember seeing. We've had some blowouts in this tournament. And this is looking like it's going to be added to the list. Oh, there we go. Cheeky backstab. 3v3. There is a chance, but NQZ snatches it away again.
And when NQZ lives, your opportunities get fewer and fewer. At least here, I mean, it's a 1v2. B-side completely open. Depends how he wants to play this one as well. He's being a bit smarter with it. Cuts noise, gets down towards middle, slows down the time. You've led them to believe it's the B play. Slow walks back around. Has an opportunity here to get up brackets. You can isolate the fights. Maybe you can take some 1v1s and build your way into the round. But Lux is here. Blade's pulled out on a slow walk as well. Oh, you're leaving yourself exposed. Switches to the tech. Tries to move up. Needs to win the fight cleanly. Drop to 26 and gets the bomb plant down at least.
Biggest error's only on 31 though. And that Molotov is going to afford him the luxury of repositioning should he choose it. Not sure if it's confirmed damage onto Biggest error. So he's playing this one very carefully. Zero in the meanwhile has himself a kit. Has a bit of time to play with, and he's going to be going up on apps. He's hoping he can get the drop on Ponter. We're headed towards the end of this half. He's definitely 100% going for it. He would love to keep this unbroken streak of round wins. And he's going to be pincering around the corner. He's dropped, he's made sound, and he should be a dead man. The Biggest error still shuts down Ponter. And he should have time for the defuse with the kit. Oh, the woes continue. ODDIK must be devastated. When he dropped Jackie, I was sure he was dead.
Yeah, it felt that way. It really did feel that way. And that's, you know, one round at least of buffer, right? It would have at least given you one round to work with. Instead, the outcome here is you're frustrated off the back of another near miss, where it feels like you've been given a slight chance, a way in, and you just can't quite get through the door. And you're facing an 11-0 scoreline. In the first map of a best-of-3 that decides whether or not you're eliminated or make it to the Copenhagen Major, the first major for CS2. And this is the way things are going on your T half. Oh, if they get the 12-0 off the back of this, but it's going to be so rough for you to really do anything. Hell, even the pistol round could just be where this one starts and ends on the second half.
Kauez with the simple, straightforward shutdown. There was a flashbang alongside it, but it didn't even connect. And Kauez looking for that 20 bomb in the first half. MR12, I mean, this would have been ridiculous in MR15 days, and he's gone and done it. 20 and 5, a 3K in this. ADR off the charts. What a performance from this man.
He's got the straw hat on, and he is farming. Precision pointer from Ponter as he strikes back at top mid, takes down the AWP. Oh, okay, follow-up frags there as well, but it's the backstab, the re-peek off the timing from his teammate dropping, looks for the trade, and does equalize it in, well, 1v2, your back's exposed as well towards T-steps, and that's how the 12th is guaranteed. 12-0. Not a single round on the board for ODDIK. paiN are just blitzing through them.
We have seen some very one-sided maps of Counter-Strike in these RMRs, but I don't think we've seen a 13-0 in the Americas RMRs at least. I think a couple of 13-1, 13-2s. This has been complete domination, Jackie. I mean, there's not really much we can talk about. It's so one-sided. It never felt as if ODDIK got out of bed to come into this game. Like,
yeah.
And you got to give a lot of credit, of course, across to paiN, who have been phenomenal. Like Kauez, we've already talked about. NQZ's had moments. Nissim's had a couple of crazy sprays, but oh man, paiN, I don't know what to say.
No, it really is rough. Just coming out, giving it onto the server. Clean trades, very aggressive setups, winning out on the clutches as well. Even the unsustainable rounds have gone their way. And this is where it could all be over in one fatal blow, a pistol round. You remember how things went in the first? It was a 5K with Doolies for paiN Gaming. If they can even just get this one over the mark, you've won it. Very worst case scenario, you're looking at a team that has basically unlimited opportunities here to just keep hitting a bomb site over and over again. All you need is one.
They're not rushing it though. Getting up banana, but they're clearing their angles. Atios in the meanwhile with Ponter as a smoke ready to toss out if needs be. Flashes, Smokes, Molotovs, all available, all getting tossed in now. Molly's to the back of the site, smoking off the CT side as Matios gets the first, and they've landed a good, well-placed smoke to thwart this push. So they get the opening pick, they force paiN away, they're going to try and hit back on middle.
The core goes running towards brackets, and Woody listening for this, his ears perked up. Oh, he could peck from the back. Oh, it's a bit of a rough one on the face towards Boiler, but he still wins on the fight and brings the numbers down somewhat. You've got time for the rotate in now as well. So the rest of the squad groups up towards Arch, but a big dink on Woody, down to 2 HP.
Kauez's aim is so on point right now. Nissim finishes off what he started with the Goosh. And naitte is going to try and wrap around the back of Apps. There's a player up on the balcony, that's going to be Nissim, a double stack, Turtle's with him. They peek in, Nissim is watching many angles by himself, but he's trying to draw away fire, and that bomb is starting to get dangerously low on the fuse as well. Kauez, 5 bullets in the chamber, is trying to keep himself alive. Has he wasted enough time? It's going to be close, but they should have the defuse, and ODDIK will not be 13-0'd just yet. They keep the dream alive.
You hold back the Reaper for at least 1 round here. But that's the horrific timeline that you now live in, where the entire game has to be absolutely flawless, and that's just to remove the safety net of overtime that is waiting underneath paiN Gaming here on Inferno. That's what you're facing. It's very hard. You just have to focus on 1 round at a time, take it piece by piece, whereas for paiN, you have the opportunity here to find what's weak, see if there is any gaps in the defense, and then just abuse that going into the later rounds. A single mistake would cost them the game, and you'd move on to the second.
Oh, and Lux finds himself wandering no man's land. Double spray. Caught in barbed wire is Matios. Turtle's going to get the backstab. He's taking a picture, mate. What was he waiting for?
Oh, mate, I was a little bit worried he was actually just going to get his lips removed when he turned around, honestly. I was like, oh, mate, don't go for the blades. Okay. See, again, though, it's still quite scary, right? Because that's another round where I'm like, well, that kind of was the mistake of Banana. Lux just gets the double entry. It's all going to fall to pieces. You get through it, but again, at what cost, right?
I guess this is where if you're ODDIK, obviously you're building your way back in brick by brick, round by round. That's all the cliches you can throw in there, but you're also banking off the fact that the T side has typically been quite weak for paiN. And you have to have full confidence in yourself as you're going to just get a mowing down with the MP9 and grenade alongside it. Trade back though, but Lux is exceptionally dry in terms of HP. He's going to get finished off by naitte. He's pushed down. It's going to be a fairly straightforward round for ODDIK's third. Nissim, 37 HP, going to push through the smoke, fakes the flash, but naitte's having none of it.
Do love the heads up fake flash for the Tech 9 though. Fair play to him. If it caught him off guard, would have been good banter, but not this time. The round itself, though, for ODDIK at least, not that bad in terms of the casualties either. So at least you will have weapons and utility coming into the next. Having money in the coffers really doesn't matter, because obviously if you lose one, it is over. But at least having enough cash to sustain yourself into the following round is more what you're worried about. Quick pause here as we've had one of the games go down. So we're going to get the player back in the server and carry on with this one. Probably a bit rough as well, right? Because it's kind of one of those where when you take a bit of a break out of the flow state in a game like this, you sort of realize what you're up against. Whereas for paiN, probably just thinking, all right, just get us back in. Let us just lop the head off at this point.
Yeah, I just want to finish this as fast as possible and get across to Vertigo. Will be our second map, and then nuke if we need it, but that's a long, long way away.
Yeah.
If you're on the ODDIK side of things right now, that will feel like a distant goal sometime in the very far future. In the here and now, they are 12-3 behind. They have won the last 3 rounds. It's about building that confidence as well, Jackie, I think. I mean, a lot of players and teams will say, I've spoke to quite a few of the pros when it comes to these kind of situations, and a lot of them will say, I'd rather just lose it like fast, like 13-0, 13-1, than expend loads of sort of energy and focus, and then to lose out like 13-10 because it'll feel like, what did we, you know, play for, etc. So it depends. And then I've had other sides of the spectrum that's like, I'd rather build my way back in and feel my confidence and get warmed up and stuff. So it depends on the players, really. In the meanwhile, though, ODDIK have been very aggressive on these CT sides. It's constant lurk smoke, and it's another kill. This time it's Lux.
Oh, Big Guzera. Normally someone that does start to lead by example when his roster needs it. He finds the trade back. Turtle's been a big piece of this ODDIK roster as well throughout Inferno. He's had some rounds that have looked close. So with him going down, you're in a 4 versus 4. Tons of time as well, so the T's don't need to over-egg anything. They can still play this one slow, draw out a lot of their CT side utility, bleed them dry, and then go for the play. Nissim as well could be a real issue. You've got no one down towards the pit. He can just walk out through balcony, hits the head onto the first. You need to trade this, and you're caught between 2 positions. It's all going wrong.
Oh, it's such a crazy read. The way he played that is like he knew no one was in pit. Must have done their homework. Heard the footsteps around quad side, but that's not to say a double stack wouldn't be possible. But the confidence in which he wide swung out there. Impressive play in ODDIK. Although they mustered up 3 rounds, it looks like this is where Inferno will come to a close. Matios and Woody in a 2-on-4 post plant. Woody has the kit with an M4 alongside him. But they're also isolated from one another in terms of trying to push in, and that flashbang could not have been sweeter. Fully blinding Woody for multiple seconds. And Big Azera exploits that, expunging the threat. Matios taking speculative shots, but he's whittling away his own health bars in the process through the smoke. He's being peppered, comes out into the open, and is shut down. A dominant first map win for paiN Gaming, 13-3.
Run away with the game, make it look easy for themselves. paiN 1 map away from the Copenhagen Major.
A fantastic showing from paiN Gaming with a 12-round streak. Absolutely.